Hey, Andrea, why did the tomato blush?
I don't know.
Because he saw the salad dressing. Wait, did we not watch the same movie?
Apparently not.
This is the line from the little pun in the kitchen there.
Oh, clearly I missed it.
Now I'm nervous that we watched two different movies.
Oh
Oh
no.
boy. Well, this is Eric,
This is Andrea.
and this is hopefully Hallmark Mysteries and more.
This podcast was created by fans for fans and is not affiliated with or sponsored by Hallmark or the Hallmark channel.
Well, the movie I watched was the morning show mysteries Countdown to Murder.
Okay, right, the grocery store one.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
All right, we
How'd
did.
you miss the puns? Okay.
Well, you like the puns. I don't. I like a good pun. Apparently, it wasn't good enough for me. Well, here's the recap of the movie. The murder of a supermarket owner puts TV chef Billie Blessings and detective Ian Jackson, or is it Ian? Maybe it's Ian.
Ian.
Ian Jackson on the trail of a possible serial killer. Well, they come to terms with their blossoming romance. All right, Eric, what did you think of this one?
I gave it a 2.5.
What?
Wait, did I go too high? Are you shocked that I went that high, that I gave it just average watchable?
What? Okay. Speak on.
Okay, as I said, I was about to, before we started recording, I was going to ask you a question. I said I'd wait to ask.
Oh, no.
I'm just curious why you chose this particular episode, because I don't think I've seen them all in order, but I this was not the strongest of the morning show mysteries for me. So I I found the whole grocery store theme kind of boring. Like, why do that setting? I'd never was invested in. I was like looking at this little uh grocery store that they had going, all right, there's no way that they've just got $100,000 floating around or people are getting rich off this thing. This is more like the little business where people barely, the whole family has to work there just so they can actually not go further in debt every month. So I just, no, no. So I'm just curious. So why did you choose this one?
Well, my rating is a 4 out of 5. This one is probably one of my favorite morning show mysteries one. I loved the duck theme, the duck song. So I feel
The
like,
duck song is catchy. I'll give you
see,
that.
that's honestly why I chose this one, because I remembered this one. I don't know if I can remember any of the other ones, but this one, because of that duck song, the quack, 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 this little ducky goes back, and you know, I loved it. So that's why I remembered it. I also enjoy the supporting cast of the morning show mysteries as a whole, but I do think, like Maurice in the kitchen, the chef, we didn't see enough of him. So
Who
that
does the
was,
puns?
I know, that's where I was like, okay, the person, one of my favorites, I was like, I missed his pun, and that was really his only scene in this movie. So that's kind of a sad a sad face for me, not having enough Maurice. And then I like Cassandra as well as a supporting cast. But yeah, I liked this one. Memorable because it's the duck.
Okay, I will give you the duck song was catchy, and I did find myself not watching it being like little duck go quack quack. Yes, so it was catchy. Now, let me just quickly say, what is Death by Design? I think that's the best of the morning show mysteries. It's
What
the one with the
was the
twins,
premise?
where they're the twins, and the one twin that kills the other twin, and yeah, that's
Oh, that was the movie after
that's it.
this
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
Okay.
So I thought, actually, it wasn't the twin didn't kill the twin. That's kind of what you thought was going on and stuff. That was the red herring and all that.
Nice.
But
I,
yeah,
I
I
really
think
don't
that
remember
was
that
better.
one.
So, and it wasn't set in a grocery store, which, I can go down to my Safeway and walk around and be as excited as I was for this one. I'll say,
I thought it was a cute grocery store at least.
sure. Okay, I'll go to Whole Foods. How's that? So, or Trader Joe's. Holly Robinson Peete, though, she's elite. I'll
Oh
give you
yeah.
that. She's good. She makes it. Well, she's not hard on the eyes. Rick Fox, he could probably be paired with Candace Cameron Bure with their acting skills, I think. And we would be treated to like a wonderful hour and 24 minutes of watching paint dry. So he
I
is
know.
not the strongest of talent on Hallmark, I would say.
I mean, he obviously is not in the last one of this. Colin Lawrence
Right.
replaced him, which I think is a good
A great
replacement.
move.
I love Colin
Great move.
Lawrence. So that's why I'm hoping that they will maybe have another one of these with Colin Lawrence. I feel like you need, again, just as you need the three, he's a completely new lead, same as the Hannah Swenson one, bringing Victor on. We have to get used to that character, and he's not. I mean, Colin didn't come on to replace, Rick Fox. It is a new character. So I don't mind Rick Fox, but
Of
again,
course you don't, because he's
as I'm sitting
basketball.
here wearing my Minnesota Timberwolves
Right.
sweatshirt, I'm a big basketball fan. So I can look past some of the bad acting because I remember him, growing up and watching him play for the Lakers. I was at courtside at one of the games. I'm pretty sure I got a high five from him after the game. Randomly, we stumbled upon good tickets.
Was
I
he
didn't
really physically stiff when he did that too, like he does with his, his acting?
know.
Mr. Robot Man, give you high five.
Now, he did do an intro and outro. I don't know if he really acts very much anymore, but he did an intro and outro for the Lakers Dynasty show on HBO Max. And that was more of a casual conversation like we're having. And I feel like he shined a little bit better there. Wasn't quite as stiff, and it was just more natural. So I feel like maybe he's better at just an interview style versus actually acting in a movie. So I will give you that as well. So I know that is a detriment to people who do not enjoy the movies. He is a big reason why.
I will surprise you in a minute when we get to the next
Oh,
section, though.
the mystery minute.
No, for the I think we're already in the mystery minute at this point.
Well,
I will say, getting into the mystery minute though, I did not know the killer, obviously, and I thought it was a great twist. That's why it got to the 2.5 for me.
Oh man,
because not much else other than Holly Robinson Peete being spectacular. And I do like Cassandra. I think the supporting characters actually in the whole show are quite entertaining. So I'll give you all that. Like the whole news staff are just such horrible people that they're fun, right? And our favorite actor is over there.
he does not a murderer in this one.
Well, he does murder in a different way with but the killer was a surprise because that was a really big twist that I totally did not see coming. So like I said, that was pretty good.
My mystery minute, probably one of the things I think we've talked about before, but some of these older mysteries go into really long monologues to get us, the audience, caught up in what's going on. So we had a lot of long monologues. Who are these people at the grocery store? We've never really met them in other movies. And so we have to get their whole backstory. Why
Uncle
would this be
Don?
happening? Who is this business partner to the person who was killed? And then I feel like the newer mysteries have done a much better job of condensing that. And if you look at any of like the hour-long, weekly mystery shows, they solve a mystery in a very short time. And we don't need that long backstory, because if they did, it would take up half an hour. So people wouldn't watch. And so I feel like they've taken a page from kind of those new, mysteries and said, we have to condense this. This is too long. We're going on, and we're losing people because we're not invested in these characters who are just there for a movie and then they're gone. And then the next movie, we have a long monologue from other people about this mystery.
Yeah, that's actually exactly right, because Uncle Don, like, we get it who he is, but they kept going on and adding more and more to his story. And I'm sure it was to try to create a red herring with him, but it's never that character because it's too right there, right? And he's all of a sudden pulled in too quickly. So it's not him. So you're right. You could chop out a lot of that and just get us a little bit excited about who it is. Like, oh, it could be him, because as soon as he showed up, I'm like, oh, he looks shady, right? Because he's too nice. But no, he turned out to be, yes, just a very nice guy who likes doing puns and chopping carrots.
Well, what about the romance? What did you think
Well,
of the
hold on. The one thing
romance?
I'm going to go back to, that the thing I did like about Morning Show though is there is a better, I think, relationship between the Snoop and the police, where they even acknowledge like, oh yeah, like I understand she gets in the way, but she is really helpful with what she does. And then there's when the son shows up at I forget his name, it's not Jay, but maybe it's Jay, shows up and she's like, and he's trying to talk her into it. He's like, no, you need to go to the police. So the one thing I do like about it is, yeah, she's Snoopy. She's, in the grocery store at the end going through, in the big climatic scene, basically breaking and entering, which we, bag on Hannah about. But I think overall in general that they have a normal, healthy relationship of, yeah, I'm going to be a Snoop, but at the same time, I'm going to defer to the police, and the police, like, yeah, you're a Snoop, but you did get around a warrant for us, so we appreciate that, or that aspect. So I think that is a strength of this show. And the other thing I will say that just made no sense to me in this one is Phil. Like, they're attacking Phil. He's one of the guys who gets the duck because he did this thing. Like, how does anybody know when to drop a light in the middle of the lobby or blow up his editing studio? Like, I found that just a weird thing that just really made no sense, because did Edmund sneak into the studio or something, which you could not do? I don't know if you've ever been to a TV studio, but they are fortresses to get into it with security. So there's no one sneaking in to do those sort of things. So I just found that crazy. And then Phil, who's the crime investigator, isn't investigating he's hiding out, and it's, I'm hiding everywhere versus out there trying to solve this. So that's kind of stuff annoying me. That's why I thought some things, it had that potential, but then it had this like just plain silliness that just made absolutely no sense, even in our Hallmark universe, that just drew it down to me. But like I said, I love the characters, but just how actually horrible they were, especially our friend there, who what's his name? Not Luke, the main announcer, broad whatever.
Oh,
But
Jerry in real
but
life.
but yeah, but he, like, this the way he's like, oh, I'm going to get you on the news. I don't care. I'm just forging through. Oh wait, this is scintillating. Perfect. Let's go on. See ya, Billie. We're going for the ratings here. And then when it turns out he wasn't getting targeted, he's like, yeah, it's awesome. You're getting targeted, not me. So I thought that was really funny.
Oh.
Okay, so getting into the romance, as I said, while I think that Rick Fox is quite cardboardy, I do think that they do a good job of actually creating chemistry between the two of them. I was surprised that he is who he is, right? So you're only going to get so much emotional depth out of him. And maybe it's just the skill of Holly Robinson Peete, but I actually found their chemistry between the two of them, which kind of shocked me.
That's interesting. I actually said I didn't really feel a ton of chemistry. It was more friend vibe I felt. Like,
They go
and
dancing
I
together.
well, yeah, but you can dance with a friend. I mean, I just didn't feel like some of them you're like, oh yeah, the way that they're looking at each other. And it's probably, again, I mean, he's not an actor, like he's an athlete. And so some of it's
Right.
the actor can just look at people. Like I was just saying with Giles in the last one with the Paris fashion, like the way he can look at any female, you're like, whoa, and make people
Right.
melt. Rick Fox does not have that ability. Maybe he thinks he does, but he does not. And so you can't rely on just that with him. Like you need a little more. And I do think what you'd said about the depth, like he just doesn't have that, because that's not, again, he was an athlete. That's not what he was trained to do. I don't think he was a trained actor along with growing up as an athlete, but maybe I'm wrong. He is missing that. And I feel like you can only go so far with one person, trying to be like, hey, you know, I really like you. And the other person is like, I like you too, you know?
Right. But like I say, I agree with you 100%, but that is his character is once again, he's a rigid
Stiff.
cardboard person. So that's kind of how he was. And then, yes, you're right. He's like, smile, right? It's not a nat. Whenever he smiles, it just is not a no. Like you can tell he's acting smiling. But
Right.
you know, and this is big judging for me because I will say I am probably 10 times worse than him if I was ever on camera. But it was like I just still felt the relationship had cuteness to it, despite the flaw of his acting. So
Eh.
that's what I get. So I agree with you, but I disagree with you.
Well, what about character corner? Who was your favorite?
I'll say Edmund. He was a fantastic bad guy down to a creepy, psychotic haircut. Like you just look at him and you're like, this guy would kill his child. Like he just had creepiness all over it. So I thought he was fantastic at the end when he's sort of chasing her around, but he's doing like sort of the walk chase, reminding me a little Terminator 2 kind of coming through. So I thought Edmund was a absolutely fantastic evil guy. And the backs now there was a good backstory with him about how his dad basically liked the other guy better than his own son, right? So he had a lot of like emotional baggage. And I think it just came really through as his evilness. So I thought he was a great bad guy.
I really enjoyed Cassandra. She for me is I mean, when we were doing our sidekicks, I'm like, I totally forgot about Cassandra. She might have made my list because I do think she does have that great comedic presence. She always has something to say and helps Billie. Like, I feel like she's kind of that, like, hey, is this actually a smart decision? And is
Right.
kind of weighing that to her because Billie's just like, hey, I'm gonna throw caution to the wind and I'm going for it. And then Cassandra's kind of the one being like, we should probably get out of here. This seems a little sketchy. Like we
Right.
need to leave. And so I really enjoy that
Like
element.
when
And
they're on the
her,
yacht.
yes, yes.
Okay, great. We'll go now. Okay,
Let's leave.
great. No, we'll leave.
Right.
That was a great, yeah, right. That was a great scene.
And so for her, I think that, you know, in all of the movies, I think she does have a great supporting castmate there and a great sidekick in Cassandra. So she might have made my list if I would have remembered this movie.
I agree. I think she is great. I also another one that stood out was when she was talking to Billie about uh the ex-wife being the bad guy, how she's such a horrible uh employer. She doesn't give her house cleaner or maid, whoever it is, Christmas off or bonuses or things like that. And she's like, Billie, why didn't you tell me that? Because I did what I should have done. I told her to go to the police. So you're right. That whole voice of reason is a perfect balance to our Snoop. So I'll give you that with Cassandra. And like I said, I would not argue that one. I think the whole side characters are all great, basically in the series.
For sure. Well, what about trivia? Do you got any trivia for us?
Well, we kind of alluded to it about Rick Fox and being an NBA player, and his NBA playing was a little bit better than his acting, which still was not good. He averaged under 10 points a season. So he was not a great player, but he played for a little while. So we'll give him that. But he was on Dancing with the Stars. And despite his roboticness of his whole movements, because I found him very stiff just physically, he made it all the way through the 7th week, which now it could have been all the basketball fans just voting and keeping him going. But just if you look at it, I went through the week by week voting for that season, and he was sometimes up in the top 3. So he actually seemed to be able to dance, and which is a shame because they did go to dancing class and he should have showed those moves off a little bit more,
It's a great
but he
point.
did not. And then Holly Robinson Peete, her dad was one of the main guys of Sesame Street, and when she was little, she was on Sesame Street too. So
Oh, I don't know if I knew that.
yes,
That's
that
fun.
as a little kid, she was on Sesame Street.
That is fun. Well, my trivia, I think maybe if you haven't watched these, so Al Roker actually wrote this book series on the morning show Murder. So I was just looking it up. And so he has got 3 out, and there's one that's coming out in 2024. So maybe we'll have a new morning show mystery with Colin and Holly Robinson Peete in the future. That'd be fun.
Wait. So there's only 3 books,
Yeah,
even though because there's I think
there's
6
6 movies.
movies,
Yep.
right? So they
Yep.
totally went, okay, interesting. I assume
Yep.
there's one for every book.
So
Okay.
maybe this one, so Al wasn't in this one. He usually is in the ones, I
Right,
bet
makes a
he's
little
only in the
guest.
ones that
Because
he wrote.
he's like, why the hell am I going to be in this grocery
I didn't.
store? What the hell? Grocery store? What are you guys thinking?
Oh,
I don't want my name on it. He still produced it, but
oh, that's funny. Yeah, he wasn't in this one. Did you? I don't. Did you
I
remember
did not
seeing him?
I did not see
No.
him.
Yeah, usually he does a little cameo in some of the other ones, so you'll have to kind of be on the lookout for Al Roker in some of them.
When
So
you let us watch one of the good ones.
I thought this one. Well, we should watch the Colin one sometime and see the difference between Rick and Colin, and if we like
Okay.
that pairing better.
Why don't we'll do the Death by Design and the Colin, and we can do a comparison contrast
Okay.
between a Colin and a Rick Fox, of which it's not
Yeah,
going to be close. But
I like
I
it.
don't remember the Colin movie per se. I just
I don't
remember
either.
thinking and to your point, Rick Fox is an NBA player who, hey, I'm going to act. You know, he didn't go to Juilliard. He didn't do all those things. So, you know, whatever. Whereas Colin is definitely an actor. I mean, the guy's got skills. So, because he's in a bunch of things and he's fantastic. So that's what we'll do. Not next week, but down the road, we'll
Yeah.
do a comparison contrast between.
Which will be good because that will be in the
I don't
order
know
of
what
these
Colin's
series.
character is.
I don't know either, but this one was movie number 4, and then Death by Design is number 5, and then Collins is 6. So we kind of get the tail end of Billie Blessing's movies. So that's kind of fun too.
He's Terrell. I just looked it up.
Well, what about recommendations? Hallmark and chill. What movies would you recommend?
You know,
Or shows?
I will say that if you're wanting sort of the TV theme mystery, go for Ruby Herring, which is way better.
That's a good one.
I am Ruby Herring is actually kind of polarizing because I think some people like it and
I
other
love
people
it.
and other people hate it. I don't think there's a lot of people who are like, oh, Ruby Herring's just whatever. It's Steven Huzar, or however you pronounce his last name, at his absolute best. He is
Agreed.
by far his best role, and he's fantastic in it. Yeah, it's just, I think if you want that whole news theme, go with that one. Much better series. So
well, you know, my Murder, She Wrote. Here we go. I found one that it reminded me of. Season 3, episode 9, The Obituary of a Dead Anchor. When an obnoxious out-of-town TV anchor shows up murdered, it's up to Jessica to figure out the case. So this is one where an anchor actually goes on a boat, fakes his own death.
No way.
And then, yes. So that's what I said. Murder, She Wrote has an episode for all of these movies. I will find it.
This is kind of like The Simpsons, how The Simpsons predicts the future. Murder, She Wrote is literally every mystery out there. Okay.
I mean, the writers must know. I mean, they have 12 seasons. She's got all sorts of things that you can pull from. And so he actually ends up, though, when he comes off the boat and he's alive, he does end up getting murdered for real.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So that was kind of that episode. I enjoyed it because it's set in Cabot Cove. So highly recommend that one if you want to watch a little Murder, She Wrote that is similar to the morning show mystery, in particular, the mystery we watched, Countdown to Murder. All right. What about Fan Corner? Have you heard anything? Because I did a poll.
Yeah, I hear nothing on this one.
Okay.
Nothing.
So, and that's why I thought we should do one because I don't hear much either. And then I was like, you know what? Let me poll and see on Instagram. What do people think? So here are the results.
I refrained from voting to skew it, by the way.
I voted on my actual account. My
I usually vote, but I didn't want to skew it.
Well, 6% love it, and it's one of their top 5 favorites. 33%, it's a solid mystery series, and I want more. The biggest one, 39%, it's not my cup of tea. And then 22%, one of the more underrated mysteries, which is what I voted on my seasonal Andrea Instagram account.
Well, I think
And
if you
if you
put
added all of those up, you would have more people who,
right, that's what I was saying.
it's a decent movie in general. It's a decent movie. But actually closer than you would expect for people who just not a big fan of this one. So I thought that was interesting that people aren't really loving the morning show mystery.
I bet you if they got more with Colin,
You think
it would probably
improved?
increase.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I bet you a lot of people, because it is mysteries, but they still like their romance in there. And like I said, it's just clunky with him. So I bet you give another one or two with Colin, and that number increases.
Wow.
It still
I
probably
agree.
won't be maybe a favorite, but I bet you it increases, or at least even the not my cup of tea drops where they
I think
fall,
so.
whether the 2 or 4, I don't know, but I bet you it improves.
Well, what are we previewing next?
Finally, Hannah Swenson, One Bad Apple. So excited. We get some Victor. Now, I'm guessing that is what you're most excited about, is getting to see Victor in this more so than Hannah's next adventure.
100%. I, again, from watching the previews, and I think that the whole cast looks excited to be there again. And Dolores looks like they're really pushing her to be kind of this sleuth herself and
Right.
trying to solve mysteries, which she originally did not start out that way. So I love how, seeing her character kind of evolve as the series goes on. I think that's wonderful for them to pull on her comedic timing. So I can't wait to see all of that. What about you?
I agree. Victor, I mean, Victor's Victor, right? So that's just awesome. But like you just said, I think one of the great things that's happened since the Hannah Swenson has split from the Murder She Wrote, or Murder She Baked, excuse me, is you see, you got it on my head, is that they lean way more into Dolores than they used to. And Dolores she was on both our lists for the sidekicks. I mean, Barbara Niven is just heaven sent. She is fantastic. And like you said, that comedic timing, she is so good that I think last time she outshone Hannah. I thought Dolores was the character in that. And so I'm very excited. And then, when we talked to Allison Sweeney, she was even saying, because she wrote this one, that she just envisions Barbara Niven more in these things. So I think they're going to lean way more into her. So between that, plus we get Andrea back and we get Norman back. So essentially the whole cast that everyone's always complaining, like, oh, where's Andrea? Where's Norman? Everybody's back for this one, minus one character.
Cameron.
And I'll say I don't hate, Mike. I don't, whatever, but I think Victor's an upgrade. It's not like going from Rick Fox to is Colin Ferguson, right? Is that his last name? Colin, whatever.
Lawrence.
Colin Lawrence. It's not like going that drastic, because Cameron Matheson definitely can act and everything like that. But Victor is Victor. I mean,
his role as a cop is like perfection. So
and you're talking to earlier about how a guy can just like look and generate chemistry.
He has that.
That's Victor, right? Like, ever since, I'll go back to my original days of Hallmark, seeing him pop out of that pool in Summer Villa, I'm just like, oh, this is the man, right? Now, I think Christopher Palaha is the best, most talented actor in Hallmark, but I think Victor, and probably all the Heinies will get all over me, but I think Victor is like the sexiest actor on Hallmark, right?
I mean,
Just
for
put
him
on there.
He's my favorite. Like, he's actually my absolute top Hallmark guy is Victor Webster. And he has been since I watched Hallmark. Dylan Neal is probably my second. Like, those are my two top guys. I love watching
Which is funny because
movies.
Dylan is a whole different kind of
for sure
thing, right?
Yep. So I enjoy both of them. I like those are my two top guys. Like Tyler Hines for me, he's fine, but I don't need a mystery with Tyler. I prefer him maybe in the rom-com movies. But yeah, I can take or leave Tyler, and I'm probably going to get hate from that.
Yeah.
But that's my Tyler stance. I do love Christopher Plaha as well. He's probably up there for me as one of my top 5, males on Hallmark. So, and Andrew Walker, I really enjoy Andrew Walker as well. I probably would prefer him over Tyler, pitting those two against each other.
Well, we may not find out if ever that's the case. We'll see where Hallmark goes with mysteries, but yeah, I agree. So
Well,
yeah, very
tell us
excited.
about,
Very excited for that one.
We got new movies that are coming out too in May, and I know you wanted to kind of chat about that. So I don't have the synopsis for this one.
Yep. So we have coming up later the next week, we have One Bad Apple, Hannah Swenson. And then at the end of April, we have the next Curious Caterer. But they just announced in May that Family Practice Mysteries coming home. And that is a former Army surgeon moves back to her hometown and joins a practice of family doctors. But when she's drawn into the mysterious death of a patient, her quiet life becomes upended with Amanda Schull and Brendan Penny. So what's your initial take, your initial enthusiasm on this one?
Love the two leads. Amanda Schull is probably one of my top 5 for the
Seriously,
females.
she's like barely in anything. She's in like 3.
Love her. Brandon Penny, I also really enjoy. The one thing I'm like, oh, it depends how much military heavy we get into this one, I guess. Hopefully it's not like super military heavy. Those aren't my favorite for Hallmark. But I am excited. I need more from the description. As soon as I see a preview, I feel like you'll kind of get a feel for where we're going here. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm not like, oh my gosh, yes, I can't wait to see this one. It's like hey, I'm excited. I'm gonna give it a go, and we'll see what the preview looks like.
I'm torn. And it could just be the description, and you're right. Once we start getting more information, I could get pulled more in. The description did not do much for me. So I'm like, it just seems kind of, we were just talking about the grocery store. And I know bringing it into the family doctor and then someone dying, okay, it has potential, but I'm cautiously optimistic. I will say we did a poll and asked people, and overwhelmingly people are excited for this one. 84%.
I voted that.
Did you on all
I
your
voted.
accounts? So really,
actually,
it's about 50%, but you voted in like 7 different accounts to drive that.
No,
that
my
score
2
up.
accounts. I did vote from my personal and from the Hallmark.
So of the 3 that are coming out now that we know, which we have 2 wheels and a brand new. So we have One Bad Apple, Hannah Swenson. We have, I forget what the name of the Curious Caterer where they do the Renaissance dinner. And then now we had this new Family Practice. Of those 3, actually just rank the 3 from interest. Who's the most excited to the least?
Hannah Swenson. Then this new one, the Family Mystery. And then Curious Caterer at the bottom, only because we're going back in time, which I feel like we're had plenty of that.
Time.
I know, but we've had so much of that in February with Jane Austen. So I'm a little worried that we've just been there so much this year that I'm going to be bored with it.
Mine is the actual chronological order. It's Hannah Swenson, just because got to see Victor and got to see Dolores. Then it's Curious Caterer because I think it's going to be a fun premise. What's the gourmet detective?
I love that one.
The Day We Rue or whatever, Rue the Day or whatever it is. That one, yeah, really cute one. Kind of a similar type thing. Well, I guess it's not really because only Henry and
I was gonna say not many
Maggie,
dressed up.
Maggie dress for it, but still is cute. And then I think there, and then Marla, who is my favorite sidekick. I think she steps up in this one a little bit more, and her love interest guy, I saw him in the picture
Hmm.
that they there. So
bad guy?
that bad boy
Ooh,
detective. I think that character and
I'm
relationship's going to
excited for
start getting
that.
built out. So seriously, is he hot?
Well, I like that. I mean, I liked him.
Okay.
I don't know if many liked him, but I thought
And
he was like a
Andrea
fun character.
noted. Andrea likes the bad boy. And then the family practice, like I say, I need more for me to get that excitement. I may get there. And the funny thing is, like, Amanda Schull, I have nothing against her. I just, at the same time, kind of like, I haven't seen too much of her to have too much of an opinion. And Brendan Penny, for me, is one of those who is either I really like him or I'm just sleeping through, folding laundry through his movies, right? But Appetite for Love, I think that's the one with him and Aaron in there where they're competing against each other in the cooking show. Like, that's one of my favorite cooking show ones, and I love that movie. So, let's see. Are you a Chesapeake Shores?
I did watch all Chesapeake Shores. Am I a fan? I could take it or leave it. Like, the last season was great. The first seasons, I think, were great. It died off a little bit in the middle for me. But yeah, the last season, I was like, oh, this is leaving me wanting more Chesapeake Shores when they knew it was the last season. I love all the characters. I love the premise. Again, all the actors on there, I find to be some of my favorites. So yeah.
All right, well, let's talk about a series maybe that's not quite as good as Chesapeake
Whoa!
Shores, and
Actually, it's way better. So
hop into the pond.
oh, The Way Home, episode 10. It's our season finale for season 2, Bring Me to Life. Del, Cat, and Alice each have questions answered as new mysteries arise. So, Eric, I don't know what you thought of this. You know what I thought of this last episode. So, what did you enjoy?
I felt like I was on Oprah. Time travel for you, time travel for you, time travel for you, time travel for everybody. Everybody gets to time travel.
Oh,
So,
that means you liked it.
not necessarily, no.
Oh.
No. I will say, in my opinion, season 2 ended kind of the way it started with, I think Alice is the sole redeeming character, with a nod for best supporting going to Thunder. Like, those two are the two. That's the horse.
I was just going to say, I'm sitting here like, the horse? That is your nod?
Those are the two characters that I think consistently I enjoyed.
Brought it.
I thought they were good, and I was not just like, ugh, you could just die off and I would, drown in the pond and I would not be overly upset. So, like, even the season sadly took me from where I was totally all into Dell, thought she was great, and slowly deteriorated her character, in my opinion. So I'm excited we don't have to talk about it for probably a year or at least several months. So that's one of the bright spots of this episode for me. But I will get that why a lot happened. So I'll give you that. A lot of exciting things. So you can go ahead with what was so good before I shoot holes, and you do not have a bulletproof vest on. So before I shoot holes into all of your, oh, this was good. And then I'll counter with, yeah, but.
Okay, well, here's my list. What did I like? I thought the entire episode was amazing. There were so many threads that I thought they tied together. I cried or like near tears like 3 different times. I thought there were so many new doors that were opened and set us up for this next
I
season.
cried 3 times too, but probably for different reasons.
Oh my gosh. No, you always tell me, you're like, you didn't cry at that in Hallmark movies, you're a monster. So now I'm like, you didn't cry at that and you're a monster, Eric. I love like leaving us like, is Thomas still alive? Yes, it seems like he is. Where is he? Did he time travel? I'm like, is he Sam? But then that's kind of weird with Del, because he liked the coins, he kind of was like, looked like he recognized them. And so I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird though, that he wouldn't weird. But at least, I mean, that's where I went. I'm like,
Well,
maybe Sam is.
Sam is kind of a player, so
I know. Who knows? Like, who is this Sam? Clearly, he knew something about the coins based on that look he gave, like, I don't know. So now I'm intrigued about his backstory.
he's probably Coyle.
I also thought that too, because I was like, oh, this is interesting. And then is that Alice's daughter? It seems to be, with the necklace, with the ring. And, we're just kind of left like, okay, how does Dell react?
Oh, wait. You're thinking that the intern is actually Alice's daughter time traveling back, and that's why she just. Oh,
Yeah.
now you just changed potentially my whole opinion.
See?
That
I've been thinking this the whole season.
I
guess I didn't share it with you, but yeah, like since that first episode,
that would be
yeah,
absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, you saw
you
the
get rid of
necklace,
all the characters and
doing
just focus on that. I'm in. I'll be in if that's season 3. Get rid of
Well,
everyone else and keep them.
It seems like it could be. And then like is the father, and I don't remember his name, the one that they were singing the Backstreet Boys to, I think that could be Alice's like husband, and like that's her parents, and she's coming back to kind of witness them falling in love, just like Alice did for Kat and Brady when they were young. So that's what, and because she had said, hey, I'm here with my dad, and then he was sitting there talking to Alice.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, this is interesting.
Now see what happens when you actually get invested in the show, and you can like maybe not be crying for watching Kat and Elliot just be unbelievably annoying.
Yeah, there's lots of different things going on.
Okay, I like this now.
And then Dell reacting to Jacob being alive. I really am kind of looking forward. That is going to be an interesting thing. Like, what does she say to Kat? Like, because obviously Kat has been knowing about this for the last year. Potentially,
it's just going to be another thing to create this unnecessary drama between the like.
I'm hoping they don't. I'm hoping they don't go that way.
They totally will, because Kat is just a walking nightmare of.
Yeah, but I thought they did a really good job of kind of softening her again. The last 2 episodes, they've done a good job of that, I think. And if they do, though, create drama between those two, having, Jacob come back, I hope they don't. I really hope that is smoothed over, because I feel like that's played out for 2 seasons. We don't need to keep going to that well. We could do something else.
What was the highlight of my last episode?
Alice is always your highlight.
Right. No, that Jacob didn't come back.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were hoping this didn't happen.
Yes. I hate the fact that he did. I hate the fact that he did, because it's just going to create stupid, silly, unnecessary drama. You just made an absolutely fantastic show with Alice. Like I said, all in. The Jacob stuff, I am so over, and it's just going to be little high school. That's the funny thing. Like Kat is high school drama, whereas Alice is actually interesting, thoughtful, even though she is the teenager. So
I also am intrigued about Colton. That to me is
you did not know you had to see that coming from episode 2.
Yeah, I mean, when they showed him the back of his head, yes, but I'm also I'm intrigued, but I'm concerned. Like I enjoyed the scene of his grandma and him at the pond and saying it's not your time yet. I'm assuming he's still dead. Like he can't come back alive, right? Like that's not possible.
Well, his future.
See, and that's where it gets a little trippy, and like the time travel rules. I don't know how they're going to kind of pull some of that together, but I'm intrigued.
As I go ahead and I tear apart all your things.
What I liked.
The grandmother. That's like the patriarch. Like, why does the little Jake get told this by grandmother versus why does Kat not get shown that? Why does the grandmother favor
that was
the boy?
Colton.
No, she said Jacob.
That was Colton.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I watched this episode twice. Okay. She said Colton.
I won't challenge you. I thought she said Jacob.
No, I'm pretty sure that was Colton as a kid. And
well,
so they didn't say it. Yeah. So they didn't tell them, obviously. I'm surprised Colton didn't have a conversation with his kids if this could happen, and he knew it could happen. So
Well, he does know what happens because he travels in the future and
but then that's
everything like that.
confusing to me. How did that? So if as I'm pulling this, I'm like, so if Colton
Of
obviously was
course it's
aware of the
confusing because
pond,
it's trash.
but then if you think about this, if Colton knew of the pond, why didn't he warn Jacob? And then why didn't Colton try to time travel to find Jacob? Because that could always have been a possibility of where was Jacob, and he knows that he has a time traveling pond. Why didn't he go and look himself, or tell Dell, hey, we have this pond, we could time travel, he could be lost in another dimension, era, who knows where he is?
Because Perfect Colton's going to turn out to be a evil bad guy who plots horrible things.
No, Colton's nice.
And that's why, because you're right, he could have been back looking for
Right,
Jake the
that's
whole
weird
time.
that that didn't
Or he would have known
happen.
where Jake, I guess the pond only takes you where you need to go. So maybe that's your answer
But
right
still,
there.
the whole thing, like he was distraught and like drinking
He-
heavily. Like that's what they showed us in season 1, that that's where he was going. But
Faker.
that seems weird.
Right.
So I guess that's what I didn't like, now that I just threw that
Right.
out there. I feel like, okay, I
It's
thought
like
they
it's like they just threw it in halfway through, like, oh, let's do this, because you're right. If you
yeah,
follow the
what they
story,
started
it
with
doesn't really
connect.
flow. Because
And then the
he
same,
would have known where Jake what happened to Jake.
yeah. The same with graduation. I thought they graduated in 2002. I thought they said that, maybe not. And then I guess they graduated in 2000, so that puts timelines a little different. Maybe again, that could have been my bad because it's been how many episodes, but that does shift things. Any standout scenes for you?
Why would Kat think Victor would give Dell that letter? Why? The important letter with the ticket. Why would she not just go to the damn house, put it on the countertop, and wait? Like, that just makes absolutely no sense. Let's go to the guy who hates my family, who is
But did she know
belligerent.
that? I don't think
Yes,
she
because
knew that,
he did the big scene at the
but she wasn't
event.
there.
Oh,
She was time traveling.
well, everybody knows that Victor's the terrible guy
She
in the
doesn't
neighborhood.
seem to, and she seems kind of self-involved. So I don't know if she was
No
aware
way,
of
Kat's
this.
self-involved.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't
Wait,
think she was aware.
revelation. I just, whatever. I found that so stupid that it just, I was like, never would happen. Never would happen. And okay, hey, I'm Elliot. I'm leaving town. I know my dad is an a-hole. Oh, I'll just let him still do it rather than on my way out of town, swing by the house and drop it off. So, but once again, Elliot, everyone probably just loves and thinks he's great. I just think he's one step removed from the self-absorbedness and everything that Kat is. So I don't like either of them. I just give me Alice and now her daughter. I am seriously so intrigued. You got me totally on that. Now you're going to make me watch the 3rd season. So
Well,
that's
one
what
of the
the ring, I guess I
yeah,
did. That's what I didn't know. Does the
yeah,
ring have symbolism from another episode that I
yeah.
missed?
That's Kat and Brady's engagement ring, and Kat gave it to Alice, and so Alice had it on a string. I think
Oh,
she had the same necklace. So yeah, that's why she was looking at that
oh,
picture, and
okay,
yeah.
okay.
See,
Yeah. That's all right.
um,
That's awesome. That is awesome.
well, the one thing I will say, my standout scene, one that brought tears to my eyes, was the Colton and adult Elliot in the barn. You probably didn't like that, but I really enjoyed them working together, and just having adult Elliot have the experience of time travel, and just seeing him being like, oh, this guy was way more my father than my father was to me. Do we ever know what happened to Elliot's father? Did they ever
I
tell
think he
us?
just basically died.
Okay, because I'm
I
like,
think.
they never really said, I guess.
Okay.
Or maybe I missed it.
Once again, the reason I could not enjoy that scene, I know it's Hallmark, but Elliot would be dripping, soaking wet, working in like, I still can't get past that. How you totally
Dry
dry,
off.
like being in a jacket and all those clothes, it would be a day before you were dry. So whatever. I get it. And yes, if my heart was not so scarred from all of these other episodes, I would be there with you, because I did think it was nice and sort of Elliot to get to experience that and see that. And I thought it was actually commendable that Elliot heeded his own advice, as opposed to Cat, who just comes in as a wrecking ball when he's about to catches himself and does that. So I thought that was like commendable.
Well, what are you hoping is coming season
Well,
3?
I have one more
Oh.
thing. The bulletproof vest. Like, where did that? Did
The
I miss?
trade. Yeah, they traded it for rum. That's what Jacob said. He said in one of his rum trades, they made it bulletproof vest trade with that. And so he had one on. So
Well, why the heck would they just not wear it around all the, like, if I had someone going out to, I knew it was going to kill me, I would be wearing one all the time too. So yeah, I don't know. I thought they said Cat somehow brought it. So
no,
I was like,
no.
okay,
A rum trade.
all right, whatever. All
Then
right,
are you
well,
hoping next season then? Are you just hoping it's all about Alice and her potentially
Yes,
future
I'm-
daughter?
well, yes and no. I guess my only no would be because I don't want them to ruin Alice with their their silly drama stuff. I want them to keep Alice's character arc as it is and introduce, if that is the case, introduce the daughter, and they can keep it elevated all in. My thing is if she turns into Cat too, who, but once again, oh, Cat, you're gonna be, I thought the line where Elliot says to her, oh, you're going to be, to Alice, you're going to be your mom's best friend, or no, to Kat, you're going to be your daughter's best friend. That's how she treats her, not like a daughter. She treats her like she's another high school chum of hers, with how negligent she is as a mom. But if they can keep it elevated in that whole storyline, totally in. And if I can figure out a way to fast forward through the other drama, there you go.
I mean,
Now
that's kind of what
you're all in for everything, it seems like, though. You
I
want this
mean,
Colton, you're into Jacob.
I was like, everything I talked about in what I liked, that's what I'm hopeful for in the future. I hope we get some more information on who Sam is and more backstory there, and
Now,
Alice in the future.
I'm pretty sure Sam's shady.
No, I really like him too.
But then again, I was sure Brady was shady too.
Brady wasn't shady.
But I think Sam's harboring some secret. So yeah, so he's like Coyle, or he's something. But I don't know.
Well, we don't have to talk about it until 2025. So
just give me some more. Give me some more
wait.
thunder. Give me some more thunder and some Alice. I'll be okay.
That's funny.
And Thunder's got a Pell now.
I know. They keep bringing more horses. That's where it just, like, what are these horses? Is it just a horse, or is it something more?
Okay, you have no more land, so we're going to get you more horses. All right.
Oh, well, anything else? Because I'm done. That was it.
No,
I'm excited.
This was a long, we talked a lot. We had a lot to go over.
We did.
I'll say with that, we should probably just say
Goodbye.
One Bad Apple is coming up.
Enjoy.